Hey guys, I'm Jamie Williams, and I would like to talk about uh, how the classroom learning is better than online learning. Now, personally, for me, I prefer classroom learning for a multitude of different reasons. So we're gonna start going into that right now. But before I do that, I want to introduce my audience. So just give me a minute. This is my friend Matthew. This is my mother. That's the dog. That's my little sister Jenna, and this is her friend Nani. There we go. There's the audience. All right, guys. So let's get into this. So, like I said, I prefer classroom learning, and it's so much better. And I'm gonna break it into 3 steps. So let's get started. Um, the first reason why I think classroom learning is better than online learning is that your professor or your teacher is right there. If you have a question, if you don't get something, it's just a hand raise away. I need help. It's a lot easier than online classrooms because, she's right there. Also, from that, I think the second reason that classroom is better is because you're actually learning it from somebody. The teacher or professor is right there teaching you the material, showing you what to do. They have notes. They show you right on the notes what to do. They go through the notes. If they give you homework, they're going through the homework with you. And that also brings me into my third reason why I think classrooms are better is because it's a lot more structured. Classrooms are a lot more structurally set for a learning environment because not only is she teaching you, but you have 1 or 2 homework assignments that you start in class, you go home, you do it, you come back in the next classroom, and then that's turned in. So that gives you a smaller amount of time to do it, which kind of forces you to do the homework instead of not doing it. So that's just 3 reasons why I think classrooms are way better than online. But I will say this before I talk about the negatives or downfalls of the online classroom. I will say that the online classroom is better if you live farther away from campus because you can do all your assignments, the whole class, right from the comfort of your home. For example, I live about an hour away from Schoolcraft College, so yeah, it's a little easier for me to take online classes, but it's a little harder for me to learn. But it's an hour away, so it's easier for me to do it at home. That is one good thing about online classes. Now I will tell you about the downfall of online classes. I have compiled 3 reasons why that online classrooms are not suitable for everybody. The first reason is you're learning by yourself basically. You're teaching yourself the material. The professor goes, here's the stuff that you need to read, and then you do the assignment from what you read. It's a lot longer, it's a lot harder than most people expect it to be because, you're teaching yourself almost. And that brings me into the second reason. The professor isn't right there. You can't just raise your hand and ask a question if you need it immediately, an immediate response. You have to email your professor, and sometimes the email, they'll get back to you within 24 hours, and that's a little hard if you're trying to do it right then and right now. Because if they get back to you in 24 hours, let's say, and they answer your question, but then you stopped and picked it back up on the next day, it's going to be a little harder because your brain can't really remember that so much, so to speak, because instead of doing it right then is to the next day. Which brings me into my third reason. My third reason is that it's really tough to learn. It's a tough learning environment. You got 5, 6 sometimes assignments that you have to do, 4, 5, or 6 in a week span, and you have to teach yourself different things for every single assignment that they give you. Now you have a week to do it, but since people are busy like myself, I work, I coach, all of that, it's really, really tough to learn because sometimes you forget when you get caught up in your busy life, and then stuff gets turned in last minute. and it's really, really tough to learn that way. And the professors can sometimes be a little harsh, but it's just because they want you to learn, because they expect you that you're doing what you're doing while you're at home. It's a little harder for them and a little harder for us students. So it's really tough to learn. It really, really is. But like I said, I definitely prefer online, or not online. I definitely prefer classroom over online, and the reasons are obvious. Classroom's so much better than online. For example, I take 2 online classes and 3 classroom because classroom's a lot easier. I take a couple online classes so I can fill my credits, and I'm sure a lot of you do, because it just goes with your schedule. But that's why I think classroom is better than online. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.